Hi, and welcome to Have a Chat. I am your host today, Veronique Arsenault, and I am so thrilled to be joined by my two lovely co-hosts, Judy Loge and Audrey Lynch.
Good
We love
afternoon,
seeing you
Vero.
too, Veronique and Audrey
I
and all of our
know.
viewers. Welcome. It's
It's so
nice
good
to
to
get
be back
together each
together
Monday.
again. Yep.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
So much going on. I mean, the summer is just flying by. It's hard to believe that, we're at the end of July now, and it's been kind of a wonky
Mhm.
one for weather-wise. But anyway, here we are
Hmm.
towards the end of July,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
at least enjoying a little bit of summer. And Audrey, you have our quote
Yep.
today, so let's kick off the show with that.
Yes, my quote today is titled The Beauty of Life. And this is by Jennifer
Mm.
Edwards. And I came across this one today. The beauty of life is, while we cannot undo what is done, we can see it, understand it, learn from it, and change. So that every new moment is not spent in regret, guilt, fear, or anger, but in wisdom, understanding, and love. And that's
That's
by
really, really
Jennifer
nice.
Edwards. I thought that was
Uh,
actually wrapped up everything and anything that's been happening in the last 12, 18 months, really.
yes. And for me, when you read that, I think of how I begun to practice during COVID mindfulness. It was something that
Mm,
I had read about and practiced minimally at university, but then with the pandemic, I thought to be more aware, to be more conscious of what's around and calming yourself and affirming, yourself and your good points about your soul and mind. And so, yeah, for me, that's all about put the past to bed and focus on what you can do going forward.
mhm,
It's lovely.
Yeah, as I listen to you, Audrey, talk about that, and looking at those memories and looking at those things that we've done in life, as long as you don't get stuck, it's definitely a wonderful thing to be able to look back on a whole lot of things that you've either done or accomplished or lived through. Sometimes they're not great
mm,
things, but they come to teach us things, and if we can learn from them, and sometimes it doesn't feel like we're going to ever come out of them or learn from them, but eventually we can get there. So I love
yeah,
that because it's an opportunity to look back but still go forward.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
yes, definitely. So what
So
next?
we've
What are
got
we going to
some
talk about, ladies?
exciting stuff coming. We've got
We do.
very exciting stuff coming. So the premier announced last Friday that we're
Hmm.
Hmm.
heading to green.
Yes,
I
hard to
know.
believe.
I know. It's
It's
exciting
crazy,
and
Yeah.
it's
actually.
thrilling.
It's exciting. I'm a little bit unnerved. I have to just say it because we're so used to the routine by now. The masks, especially. I mean, I think I'll have a bonfire and we can all get together and throw them in. But I'm still a little bit, a little bit leery of being out in public. I think I'll take caution just the same when I'm in crowds and wear my mask. And if I'm the only one, so be it.
Yeah.
I
How are
think
you
there'll be
feeling about
many
it, Audrey?
people. I think there'll be many people in that uh, situation where they still feel somewhat uneasy. And is this for real? Right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
definitely in my profession where I work and in such close proximity with my clients and things like that, they're definitely more than welcome. I myself, with my business, I'm also governed by another association as well as public health. And of course, there's federal government
Hmm.
and provincial. So I will have to look at everything as a whole to see exactly what pertains to my type of business. And definitely, I think people will be a little skeptical at first and, will proceed with
Hmm.
caution just because things have in the past toggled back and forth so quickly that I think they'll err on the side of caution.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And Audrey, especially in the business that you're in, and I know that, not all of your clients, but a lot of your clients would be seniors. So they're the most
Hmm.
vulnerable population, of course. And so it's those extra
Yeah.
precautions, right, that we all have to take because of our vulnerable populations. Like your clients, like my mom, like Judy's parents, we want to make sure that
Hmm.
we're doing the
Hmm.
best thing that we can for them and to take care of them and, make sure that we're healthy and they're healthy. It's funny. was in
Yeah.
PEI on the weekend for the first time. It was the first time. So I've only left Miramichi twice over the last year and a half, and one was to
Yeah.
Bathurst and the other was to Moncton. And so it was the first
Wow.
time in a year and a half that I'd left the province, and it was just it, so they are already in the no mask portion of
Mm-hmm.
their
Yes.
pandemic rules. It was
Mm-hmm.
a little unnerving. I wore my mask at
Yeah.
times and didn't at other times, so I wasn't able to be totally comfortable while I was there, and that's okay. We the whole family was in the same boat, so it's probably going to take me a while too, Judy, and I'm going to be
Yeah.
extra cautious. Although I am double vaccinated, which helps, of course. I am going to be extra cautious
Mm-hmm.
because I still have very vulnerable people around me, and although Mom is double
Yes.
vaccinated, I could still carry it to her,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to make sure that I don't do that. So,
Exactly.
yeah, it's
Exactly.
I'm excited for green, but I'm still going to take some extra precautions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're all on the same page.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So, Judy, you were telling us earlier about a little bit of some risque photographs that were on Instagram by one of our pop stars.
I was, and it was none other than the lovely Britney Spears, who's been in the media light for how many years now? Bless her soul. She's just been a target for so many reasons. And, she
Mm-hmm.
was a pop star at such a young age and such a beautiful girl and one of those vivacious stars. But she, carried mental health issues along the way that she had to deal with and publicly, I might add, which would be stressful enough when you're trying to manage it by yourself, but to have it out there for the world to be joining in on and pointing at you and putting you down for things that you sometimes have no control over, to me was appalling at times. But more recently, we all know that she's been governed and had her money, her net worth, I think, is 60 million, but that's been totally controlled for what, the past 13 years, I believe,
I think
totally.
Yeah.
so.
And now yeah, for the longest time, I do believe it's 13. And so now she's getting her freedom because the lawyer has removed all of that. It's going through the courts and she's no longer that person. So it's been free Britney, free Britney. But I think along with that comes freedom, all right, because she has put on Instagram, which I'm not on, but people have shown that she put a very provocative selfie of her baring her chest with just her hands over the main part of her breast and nothing on but a little bit of a denim short. So it's like, look at me, I'm free, I can do what I want now. It's speaks a thousand words. This picture, basically, it's the new Britney, and it's the new I'm gonna rock it, and I don't care what anybody thinks because I've been under control for so long. I think that's what it's all about at this point.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's interesting. I've kind of followed along that hashtag Free Britney movement, and she has been under conservatorship under her father for a
Mm-hmm.
number of years for some very valid reasons.
Yeah.
At the time when she was struggling with what they think was probably postpartum and some other mental health
Yeah.
issues. So, but it's
Mm-hmm.
for it to have gone on this long is incredible, and somebody
Yes.
said, I was reading an article and they said, you know what, if she's able enough in mind and body to earn that $60 million because she's done
Mm,
residencies in Vegas and she's
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
she's still
Yes.
performing and all of that, then she should
Yeah.
be able to, with some guidance, whether it be through financial planning
Right.
companies or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
handle all of that and be able to marry who she wants
Yes.
and to see her children and all that. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, I listen,
Mm-hmm.
she has lived a life that none of us can imagine, and I really hope
Yep.
that with some of this freedom
Mm-hmm.
comes some joy in her life.
Yeah.
Me too.
Um,
I
my
wish her all
little
the
my
best.
little take Yeah, my little take on that is, unfortunately, I didn't see that photograph, Judy, but I'm looking at and seeing other articles. I play the devil's advocate. Where is
Mm-hmm.
this coming from? Where is the photograph coming from? Is it recent? Was it being posted in order to tarnish her? Like there's so many different
Mhm.
avenues where people's accounts have been hacked, especially where she's trying to
Yeah.
get her freedom. Did someone do this on purpose?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really find it's very easy for
Maybe.
people to get in and do that and have that misinformation. So, I mean, I wish her the best of luck. I agree with Vero. It's been a long, long time
Mm-hmm.
that she's been under the thumb of her father, and for very good reason
Yeah.
initially. But yes, if she's still able to get on
Yeah.
stage and perform and earn that money
Right.
so that it turns around and goes to somebody else to be in
Hmm.
control of, I feel like, what would be the point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely. I
So,
wish her the best
Mm.
of luck, though.
for sure. Yeah, we do. We do. And it's a tough life, although it seems glamorous and wonderful. I think it's probably a tougher life than any of us can imagine. So, Judy, you have a
Mm.
great
Hmm.
thought-provoking question. Let's have it.
So I dug up a few questions. I just thought because our viewers seem to like that, it makes them think along with us. So I guess I'll ask you first, Audrey. What do you believe stands between you and complete happiness?
Now, I'm glad you sent these questions earlier because they are quite thought provoking, and they do take a few minutes or moments
Mhm.
in order to actually mull that over in your head. And the first thing that came to me was, what is the definition to complete happiness to me? Because it's different for
Mhm.
everybody, correct?
Right.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that is that is like an ending point or a destination, right? That I would
Okay.
reach that and go, okay, there, I'm done. I'm completely happy. I couldn't possibly be anymore. I don't feel like
Yeah.
that's. I don't feel like that's. Um, what is the word I'm looking for? That is
The
attainable
end
in that
and
sense to the end.
okay.
No,
Right.
exactly. I think every day is a new day, and I can have happiness every day, and joy and love and
Mhm.
contentment and
Mhm.
striving towards my goals in life, whether it's my children and my work and my husband and my marriage and my relationships. I don't feel like there's anything standing in my way specifically that would keep me from attaining some form of happiness within those goals that I'm trying to attain.
Good answer. Great point. Love
Great.
it.
Mhm.
Veronique.
Mhm. I'll be honest, I'm pretty happy. It's
Mhm.
life is good. Life is good right now. I'm feeling settled. I'm feeling more at peace than I felt in a very long time. I'm really fulfilled at work and with counsel, of course. I'm loving that. And finding it fascinating because I get to learn and grow every day. Could I
Yeah.
use a little bit more money to pay off some bills? Sure. Would
Mm.
I,
Yeah.
love to get on an airplane tomorrow and head to Hawaii? Absolutely. But I know that at some point I'll be able to do those things too. So I'm feeling pretty good right now. I think any barriers that I have are more in my head than anything else. I don't feel like there's anything really standing in my way. I just got to set my mind to do it and off I go. But I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay. I
How
think the
about you,
thing that
Judy?
keeps me from well, I'm a happy woman. I mean, there's nothing in my life that I have reason to be unhappy about. I have a beautiful life. The one thing that stops me from being completely happy is worry. if if I didn't
Mm,
worry about people so much and think, oh, what
Mm,
if, and oh, I hope this doesn't happen, and I hope he's safe, and I hope she's okay, and I hope this passes, and I worry about everybody. I worry about my family, my friends that are not
yeah,
well mentally or physically.
mm,
I worry too much. So if I
yeah.
had didn't have that worry gene, that built-in innate worry problem, I would be so ultimately completely happy because I already am, but that would just seal it
But
for sure.
and I think that worry gene creates the compassionate, kind, and caring person that you are. That you without
definitely.
it, you wouldn't be you. And I think as hard as that is on you, it's definitely uh, lucky for the rest of us that you have that because it makes you the compassionate human that you are.
Thank you, Veronique. Gonna get me all emotional.
Yeah,
Yes,
I try
thanks.
not to. I got a question for you though. I have a
Uh,
question for both of you.
Okay.
okay.
So what if you had the chance? Okay, so if you had the chance, would you change something in history? But by changing that thing, your parents wouldn't meet, and there's a risk that you wouldn't be born. would you do it and what would it be?
Mm. Whoa. Go ahead, Audrey.
Okay. I thought about this one too. And my answer might throw you. I I I don't know specifically what I would change, but knowing what the risk would be, I don't think that I wouldn't be born, because I am who I am in my soul. And I believe like God created me. I think I would look different. I might be blonde, I might be a redhead, I might have blue eyes, but I think I would still exist. I truly do.
Okay.
Mm, mm, maybe I'm just thinking about the question in a different way, but I wouldn't change
Yes.
anything if it meant that if my parents didn't meet and I wasn't born, then I wouldn't change. This is the way would have to be. I couldn't change a thing because they are definitely um, the two most well matched people that I know, and I am so honored to be their daughter that no, I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change who I am. I was born to these phenomenal people, and that's all I have to say. I would leave it alone. Daryl?
Yeah, no, and you both have an interesting take on the question. So for me, the question meant like, would you stop? So this is how I took the question. So if I could change
Okay.
anything in history, like, would I not let Hitler be born? Right, so that the Holocaust wouldn't happen.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, and if I
oh,
Okay.
changed
okay.
that, but the risk of that would be that maybe my parents wouldn't meet, and if my parents didn't meet, then I wouldn't be born. And it's interesting because
Okay.
then I thought, okay, like, would I not have the pandemic happen, or like what can like, that's how I took the question,
Mm-hmm.
but everybody's interpretation is really unique, right? And so for
Yes.
me, it's a
Yeah.
tough one because if I look at the pandemic, and it's been incredibly difficult, and we've had millions of people die across the world, um,
Mm-hmm.
and so but out of that also has come some interesting, some new innovations. People have gotten more creative, and they've invented things that might never have happened. So
Mm-hmm.
it's tough to weigh all of those things, right? And then, I mean, you could drive yourself crazy trying to figure out,
Bonkers.
well, if I stop this, does this happen? And and so on and so forth. So
Yeah.
I don't know, right? I would like to think I would stop Hitler, which would then save 6 million Jews, and then that,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe we wouldn't have had some of the most wonderful things that have happened in the world happen. So it's a
That's
tough
true.
Right.
question, right?
It was a hard
Anyway,
one. That was
Very.
a
I
really
know,
hard
I know, I
one.
know. I know.
Definitely.
Anyway,
Beyond thought provoking.
I know, and we'll talk about it all over again. But so we've got some amazing guests coming up right after the break. So we've got Kate Flanagan from she's the general manager of the Miramichi Transit Commission, and it's a nonprofit. So we're really looking to forward to hearing from her and all that's coming up with the transit. We also have Les Tripeuses Trotteuses. Carolyn and Lucette are going to talk to us about their travels across the province and how they're raising awareness and funds for mental health. So don't go too far. Grab a snack, as I always say, because snacks are so important. And grab a cool beverage, and we'll see you right after the break. Thanks, everybody. Hi, and welcome back to Have a Chat. I am your host today, Veronique Arsenault, and I am joined by my ever stunningly wonderful co-hosts, Judy Loge and Audrey Lynch.
Hello, welcome back, everybody.
I know. I hope
Hello.
everybody had a great break. So, and are all geared up for our next guest. We have some amazing guests that are joining us today. And our very first guest in this segment, actually, we have two lovely ladies joining us. We have Les Tripeuses Trotteuses, which is kind of a tongue twister for most of us,
Yeah.
but we have two wonderful women joining us. We have Lucette and Caroline. So, welcome to both of you.
Hi.
Hello, ladies. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for
Thanks. Yes.
inviting us.
We're so pleased to have you today, and we want to make sure that everybody knows who you are so that they can recognize you as you travel around the province. So please tell everybody a little bit about you.
My name is Lucette Ashelaski. I'm a teacher, married. I have 3 dogs. I'm originally from Eel River Crossing. Now it's called Eel River Dundee. And I've been living in Dieppe for the past 10 years or so.
Hi, I'm Caroline Benoit. I'm a teacher too. I'm in 5th grade in the Le Marais School in Dieppe. I'm now live in Dieppe since like 12 years maybe with the university time. I came from Tracadie.
I just want to add on that I teach at the Amiro School, and I'll be teaching grade 2 in September.
Very
Wonderful.
nice. So
Welcome
we
to
have
both of you. Yeah.
yes, wonderful teachers on board with lots of interesting topic today. So tell us, whichever one of you would like to go ahead, a little bit about how this all began. Trepeuse, trotteuse.
Last year, we enrolled ourselves in the challenge of walking or running 1,000 kilometers, and we ended up finishing it at the end of May. And then another friend said to me, well, are you going to do the 2020? Because it was year 2020. So we kept on walking. And, when you walk the same streets over and over day after day, because we were doing a lot of kilometers every day, Caroline started at the genius idea of getting the Dieppe map and started coloring all the streets that she was walking. So I said, do you mind if I join your challenge? She says, no problem. So when she would go on vacation during summer in Tracadie, me and my husband, we walk like 18, 20 Ks per day to try to catch up to her. So we finally finished it in around September, October. And then we were in the newspaper. And, with the pandemic, because we were teaching from home, we really needed to go. Once the bell was ringing, the virtual bell would ring. I just needed to get out and go walk. And we found that it was helping our mental health. So for this year, we sent a message on Facebook and we said, does anybody have any idea of what we could do for next year's project? Because Caroline's the type of person, she doesn't like to do the same thing twice. She needs a challenge, to keep her motivated. So a retired teacher wrote to us and she said, why don't you do 5K in each town of New Brunswick? But when Caroline did the research, there's not that many towns. So we decided to do towns and villages. And we enrolled again in the 1,000 kilometer challenge. So when Caroline checked, there was over 300 and some. So we said, well, we'll do 3K in each village and town, and it will bring us closer to the 1,000K. So we enrolled, but then come to find out that there's only 104 municipalities. So we have to do a bit more of walking to get to our 1,000, but it's okay. So that's how the project came along. And we love to travel. We love to go to comedy shows. We're game for anything. And because of the COVID for the past 2 years, we haven't been able to go to all those comedy shows. And so that's why we took trip, les tripeuses. We were playing with words. We took their trip, les tripeuses. Trotteuses, it's because, we love walking. We love, being on the road and having fun. So that's how it came about.
Good. That's
Awesome.
wonderful story. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Audrey, do you?
So you mentioned that, this was a mental health challenge that you took on. Can you tell us a little bit why mental health awareness is so important to you?
First of all, because in my case, I need to handle with it, with some situation and people around me. Even if we are in 2021, we still have a hard time to find services. And even if I try so hard, it's still not have enough resources to help me and everyone who needs it. So with this project, we had this part, really important part, to help us and then help everybody.
Because mental health starts with me. I have to be able to take care of myself if I want to be able to take care of my family, according to me. And it's not only mental health, it's not only my problem. I believe that it's like a community, like it's everybody's. It should belong to everybody. So that's why, and I've dealt some stuff happened to me in my life, and mental health is, I don't know how to say it in English. Anybody can be affected by it, whether it's you, your family, your
Right.
friends. So it's important to be, and now I found that people are talking more about it. Before it was like taboo. They were afraid to mention the word mental health. So that's why we're trying to show awareness, to say it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to reach out and help someone.
And that's probably why we don't have enough resources, because before nobody talk about it.
Very
That's
true.
right.
Very true. Yep, absolutely. And we talk a lot about mental health on the program, and especially through the pandemic. It was a big topic of conversation for us because, of course, everybody was dealing with different mental health challenges and throughout the pandemic and as we come out of it. So my next question is, where have you been so far?
Well, we started January 1st, and we were able, at that point, we had to stay in zone 1. So thankfully, zone 1 was at a lot of communities that we were able to do, about a little bit more than 20. And then when the orange went down to yellow, we were able to start going towards Fredericton, St. John, Oromocto, Nakawik. So we've done all that part. Last week, we went for about 8 or 9 days in the peninsula. And right at this moment, we are in the Restigouche region and the Chaleur region. So we started this Saturday, and we're here till August the 2nd. So yeah, we've done over a little bit more than 67, 68 areas as of now.
Wow.
That's an incredible accomplishment, ladies. What do you plan to do over the rest of the summer?
We still going on. So now we are up north. So we start from Kedgewick to Batters, and then we take a break, a small one, to go to the island, because we need to do this too. So after that, we need to do the Grand Falls and Edmundston area, and probably it was the end of the summer at this time, and we are going to finish it in start September or maybe October-ish. Yeah.
Very good. Wonderful.
That sounds amazing. Can you tell us, each of you, can you give us a little blurb on what so far of all the places that you've traveled, what have been your favorite stops or sites that you've seen along the way thus far?
For me, because we live in Dieppe, and there's the Chocolate River. For some people, a lot of people love seeing the Chocolate River, but us, like in Fredericton, St. John, all in the peninsula, it's the water. Like, those people are so lucky. And I mean, for mental health, you just go sit by the water and you meditate, or you do some yoga. And so that is one of the things that I appreciated. One of the things I appreciated the most. I can't say that one place was better than the other, because there's little things in each area that we've went. It's like a treasure. New Brunswick has to be discovered.
Definitely.
There's a lot of beautiful things to do in every little place. There's our big places that we've visited as of now.
Yes.
We don't know why we didn't start this project before, because this project, we really need to try each town and villages, and we have a lot of things to do in New Brunswick. So why we went outside? So it's really special, and we try to tell everyone how much is beautiful, but they are not there. So it's hard to talk about it, because it's fantastic.
Just for an example, we were in Bacaraquet, and I just posted the video yesterday. I did a blooper where I'm sitting on the beach, and I'm like, oh my God, it's so beautiful on Cuba Beach. Wow. Karen's like, what's that? We're not in Cuba. We're in Bacaraquet. I don't know why people would travel out south, to go, but it's because I found out that the water's cold here and the water's warm down there, or up there. So that would be the difference. But no, it's everywhere. It's beautiful.
That's right.
And
What has
the
this?
the
Oh,
oh,
sorry.
the one thing I want to say, because we did that for all day long, the people who sees the video don't see what we live, like what the
Experience.
what was, yeah. So it's not a
The video doesn't give justice
Yeah.
to what you guys
Yeah.
see. It doesn't really
Right.
show what we live daily or every day that we're
but
visiting.
just Veronique,
Veronique, you were with us, so you know
I
the
was.
back.
Yep.
Yes, you see what we do. So
a part of it.
a part of it, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So,
Listen, it
girls,
was an amazing experience.
tell
Go
us
ahead,
a little
Judy.
bit about what this support has been like for you along the way.
Okay, for each time we went somewhere, the people are so generous, and I can put so a lot of water time. Yeah. So when people says like New Brunswickers are really generous, warm, and that's true. Yeah, I
Yes.
confirm it.
Yes.
We confirm it
Mhm.
because it's wonderful.
And meeting everybody, because what we do, we communicate with the mayor or someone that works at the the town office, and
Yeah.
because who better than knows their place than the people working for the town or the village. And when we see, like, they spend, sometimes we're 5, 6, sometimes 7 hours with those people, and what we see them enjoying themselves with us, it keeps giving us the flame to keep going. It motivates us
Right.
to want to
Right.
go forward,
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Has anything surprised you, like as you're going around and you're seeing things and you're meeting people? Has anything surprised you?
Well, the generosity of their time. I mean, a lot of those mayor or assistant mayor or counselors, they have jobs, and they take
Yep.
the time to come and spend some times with us. And it's funny because at first when they meet us, they don't really know us, so they don't really know how
to
it's going to
deal
go
with
or
us,
how to
or-
deal with us. So the first interview that you see on the video, they're more not serious, not resistant, but
No.
serious. And but then once they get to know each other, and like we have bloopers at the end of our videos, like we laugh. Like, just for an example, last night we finished filming at 9 o'clock last night. We have a video of almost 3 minutes of bloopers, like just laughing and having fun, and the two people accompanying us, like, they had so much fun. So I don't know, like, we're really enjoying ourselves, and it's the time that the people take to to be with us. That's what we appreciate. One of the things that we appreciate the most. So
Yeah.
Great.
Well, this
Audrey?
sounds like this sounds like an amazing, amazing thing that you two are doing this summer. And the challenge, has yet to be finished up for the summer. Are you already thinking about whether or not you'll do this again, and what the future plan is for your next challenge?
I'm married, so I'm surely going to have to discuss with my husband if we come up with another plan for next year. Because let me tell you, good thing he's there, because he's the one taking care of our 3 dogs right now, and I'm going to hardly see him this summer. So yeah, I don't know. I know Les Tripeuses Trotteuses will keep doing something. What, we don't know as of yet.
But like she said, I really need something different. So
Yeah.
We'll see.
That's
Stay
great.
tuned.
So just before we go to break, and it's just been so much information, but as we wrap up in the last minute, how do we support you, and how do we support mental health through you?
That's why I'm wearing it. It's a buff. Runners or walkers or even bikers wear them. We started selling them, and all the profits will go to the foundation, A Beacon in the Night. It's a foundation at the Moncton Georges Dumont Hospital in Moncton. So we sell them for $20. And we have a Facebook page, La Tripeuse Trotteuse, and we also have a YouTube chain. So anybody that would be interested in purchasing one can communicate with us through Messenger, through our website, Les Tripeuses Trotteuses.
And they can donate too if they want.
Okay.
Wonderful. We'll make sure that we share that on our Facebook page. So I want to thank both of you, Lucette and Caroline, for joining us today. It was incredible to spend a bit of time with you on your journey through Miramichi with Deputy Mayor Patty Quinn. We earned our steps that day for sure. We want to send you a huge thank you, and we will keep watching your journey as you go throughout the province. So don't go too far, everybody. We've got another great guest coming up, and go grab a snack and a cool drink, and we'll see you in a couple of minutes. Hi, and welcome back to Have a Chat. I am your host today, Veronique Arsenault, and of course, I have my wonderful co-hosts with me, Judy Loge and Audrey Lynch.
Hello again.
Back together again.
Hello, viewers. Welcome back.
So we're just coming back. We had two great guests on our last segment, and we're looking forward to our next guest as well. I have known our next guest for quite a few years. We've worked together for a long time and seen volunteered together, of course, and she's been involved in the community and so much more. So very excited to welcome Kate Flanagan to the show, General Manager of the Miramichi Transit.
Hello, Kate. Welcome.
Hi,
Welcome.
Hi, ladies.
Good afternoon, Kate.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
We're all excited. So, Kate, of course, I know you and the ladies know you, but please tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
So yeah, like you said, Kate Flanagan, born, bred, raised, all that stuff here in Miramichi. I've been involved with transit since 2009, and I live here. I have 2 children, Lily and Poppy, and a partner, Adam. And yeah, I'm just like a Miramichier at heart. So
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah. The first big question up for you, Kate, is tell us the history of the transit system, because now when I was much younger, this is something that didn't exist here in Miramichi City at all. So technically, I feel like this is something brand new, but it does have a history. So tell us about.
yeah, so actually, I mean, the transit is 12 years old now. We've been around since 2009. It was kind of the brainchild of Jeff McTavish at the time. He was the economic development officer for the city. Now he's the director. But he got a bunch of businesses. He got the Chamber of Commerce on board. He got a few other local groups together, and they decided to put together an affordable transit for Miramichi. So we're one of the smallest in North America. Fixed route transits, and we consider ourselves safe and affordable. And yeah, we offer service all throughout Miramichi City.
Okay. So needless to say, this pandemic has been going on, it seems like forever, but how did the pandemic affect transit? And currently, what protocols are in place, Kate?
Yeah, so I mean, public transit, we consider it absolutely an essential service. So although we did shut down for a day or two, we were right back in it. We offered one line just in the beginning because no one really knew what the protocols were during the first few weeks of the lockdown. And then we very quickly transitioned back to offering free lines, but we did it for free. We did not charge anyone for the first month. We started charging again at the end of May, early June. And ridership obviously dipped down below 50%, but we very quickly recovered on like a lot of public transits across Canada. New Brunswick, we were really lucky where with the quick lockdown and everything like that, we were able to just start operating again at full capacity. There were protocols put in place by the provincial government, 50% capacity on the buses. Everyone must wear masks, all those things. Now it's down to full capacity on buses. Masks are mandatory. Obviously, that's changing this Friday. But yeah, those are the protocols that are in place right now. We added extra cleaning protocols. We were really lucky to be a receiver of a grant from Red Cross. So we were able to offer all of our passengers free masks, free gloves as they boarded the buses. So we were able to do
Great.
things like that to make sure that everybody was safe.
That's
Awesome.
wonderful.
Awesome.
Great
And
plan.
it must have been so tough to navigate. I mean, we were trying to navigate in our own personal lives, so to, public transit, I can't even imagine. But I'm seeing a lot of really interesting initiatives coming up lately with the transit, and I have a car of my own, but I'm actually quite intrigued with a couple of them, especially like that Saturday, go from space to space kind of idea. So tell us a little bit about what's going on with transit and how that's going to help us get around the city.
Yeah, so one of the things with transit, one of the biggest barriers is people like even trying to navigate the schedule. So three of the brand new initiatives that we're offering this summer, and the one that you were kind of just speaking about that we've been kind of really pushing lately, is the extended Saturday lines. So on Saturday, we've kind of just rearranged one of our bus lines so that people can actually get to the tourist destinations like Beaubears Island and Middle Island on the transit buses, which are normally not serviced because obviously they're not even open most of the year. But it's great because if you have a pass with us already, like many of the seniors in retirement Miramichi do, or many of our regular customers, they get to use that pass to get to destinations that they weren't able to get to before. So one of the things that you had mentioned was the plan that I put out. So these Saturday plans where I kind of just plan the day for everybody, including families. So that's the other thing that we're kind of launching this summer that we've never had before, which is a family pass. So you can get on 2 adults with 3 children for $12 and just ride the bus for the whole day. Right now it's only on Saturdays, but starting August 1st, you're actually going to be able to do it every day of the week for $12. So whether you're a family, 2 adults with 3 children, or just a person who wants to ride unlimited for the day, they can just pay $12 and do that. So as opposed to paying the $3 fare every time you get on. So that's the other brand new initiative this summer. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say you could just. I was just going to say before Audrey or Vero chimes in that you could just put your kids on the bus for the day and say goodbye. We'll see you tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah. Go to the arcade.
Give them the money.
We actually have a little plan out for teens too. Has their whole plan or their whole day planned out for them. It starts at noon though, because they want to sleep in, of course. But yeah, it tells them how to get to everything and which line to take, which stop to get on and off, all those things. So yeah, just give them $12 and say, get out of my hair for the day, right?
And what about Nightline? Nightline's the other one that I find really, really intriguing.
Yeah, so the other initiative, we've been so lucky to partner up with Miramichi Chamber of Commerce to be able to offer for the first ever time the Nightline in Miramichi. So this is something that people who are frequent users have been talking about for years, like being able to take the bus in the evening. And so we've just added this new trial pilot project on, especially like during the pandemic when we really haven't been able to go out and do anything new. We were hoping to help support local businesses and get people on the bus very easily to and from where they want to go. So the Nightline's offered from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. on just Saturday nights throughout July and August. And it gets people to all of the main locations in Miramichi. So anything for nightlife, both downtown areas, stops at the Cineplex, like wherever you'd like to go in the evening, that's where we want to get you, including the golf course. If you're into, going golfing for the afternoon and then maybe having a drink at Mulligan's afterwards, you can easily hop on the bus right there. So
love it. Awesome. Beautiful.
That sounds amazing. Yeah. A dinner out. I even love that idea. Definitely. Can you tell us, Kate, with the city is implementing a new local action plan to help reduce greenhouse gases. Now, how can we help, and how can the transit system, how are they helping, with all of those new implementations?
Yeah, so I mean, public transit is one of those things that you as a solo person can easily have a huge impact on emissions. Transportation in Canada accounts for like 54% of all emissions. So if you can just personally take the bus to and from work, that can decrease your personal emissions by about 10% annually. So if you just decide to start taking the bus as opposed to taking your car to work every day, you can have a big impact. So when we talk about the new plan that the city's putting out, just simply hopping on the bus and increasing ridership gives me the opportunity to expand our services eventually. And then, yeah, have even more people riding the bus.
Awesome.
Okay. You've been there for so long doing this job and doing an incredible job, I might add. Have you met many personal challenges? Like, what would be the hardest part of your job, Kate?
Yeah, so I will mention, so I have been involved since 2009. I was a board member. I was considered the youth board member back then. And I actually only came into this position about a year ago. So I'm no longer youth
Uh,
anymore. I stepped down from the
right.
board, but yeah, I have been involved for so long. And some of the biggest challenges are actually getting Miramichiers because, like you said, it's a pretty new service in Miramichi, and there's a real culture
Mm-hmm.
here that is not about taking
Yeah.
public transit. So most of our riders are
Okay.
not riders of choice. They're riders of they must ride the transit. So getting people who
Mm-hmm.
actually just have their cars to ditch the cars and hop on transit instead
Yep.
has really been the biggest thing for us to overcome. And we're still obviously
Okay.
trying to overcome that.
Okay. Great.
We are
Mm-hmm.
absolutely a culture of driving our own vehicle. There's
Right?
no question
Yeah.
Yeah.
there. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
absolutely, and you're
Mm-hmm.
right. And in larger city centers, like I lived in Ottawa for a number of years, and it was nothing to hop on the bus. Like that's what you did because you didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
pay for parking downtown. You didn't want to deal with traffic.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
downtown so much quicker. But no, we are
Right.
definitely not that culture here. So I can understand how we need to make that shift. What
Mm-hmm.
else is coming up for transit in Miramichi, and what else? What's percolating in your brain on how we can do more stuff?
Well, obviously, I've come out with some new pilot projects, of course. Last year, we launched within the high school system just like a free bus pass for high school students. Because, like I said, I'm trying to change
Mm.
that culture here. So, giving students free bus passes, it's modeled after a pilot project in another location, Kingston, Ontario. And they were able to
Mm-hmm.
increase ridership just because students were so much more comfortable on the public transit bus once they received
Yeah.
their free passes, well, before they were considered drivers. So that's the
Yeah.
idea behind that. We're hoping to do that again this year because the uptake was a little bit lower because of COVID and everything. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
hoping to launch that again in September. We have a partnership with NBCC that we hadn't had before. So they're going to have a
Ah.
U Pass that's available to just them as well this year, which we're really excited to offer.
Mm-hmm.
We're putting new signs up, so you're going to be able to find our stops so much easier. All of our shelters are going to have the names of the stops in them, which might seem like a small feat to you guys, but I'm really
Oh, it's
excited to get them in
nice.
there, and just
Yeah.
make the transit easier to navigate for everyone around.
Awesome.
Great. Organized.
I
Very.
Yeah, I have a question for you, Kate. I have one of my children used to take the transit quite often, and it was quite helpful. Now you have 3 lines, correct, with the Miramichi transit
Mhm.
system? My question would be, how would you combat the issue of, I feel like, and it might have changed since he started using them, but it's every hour on the hour, correct? As far as dropping off at a location, is there a way that we can shorten that time frame? Of course, obviously adding more buses would allow us to do that, but it was always a little
Mm.
tricky being able to get him to work without having to be there an hour early or end up being like a half an hour late for work. So then we always had to sort of shuffle his work schedule.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, so that is one of the biggest issues with us is obviously
Okay.
frequency. But like you
Mm-hmm.
said, we need more buses to be able to do that. And the only way for me to lobby for some more buses is to get more riders. So it's kind of
Perfect.
like a double-edged sword. I can't offer
Yeah.
more frequency until we get our ridership increasing, and
Right.
until we get a lot of people to trade in their vehicles for
Mm-hmm.
public transit. And really, our taxpayers want more
Mm-hmm.
offerings from public transit. So we
Right.
have kind of adjusted some things so that MBCC is met twice within the hour in that location. So if you are a student and like
Mm-hmm.
some of our more popular or where we have more pass holders, we try and get to those places more frequently where we have a lot more ridership. But yeah, most of our
Yep.
stops are on the hour. But the plan is always to increase frequency or something like that in the future. It's just like I said, we need to increase our ridership first.
Right. Right. Mm.
Absolutely. I Where can we get bus passes?
Yeah, so we have plenty of locations around the river that you can grab a bus pass. You can grab them from most of the Petrocans, as well as the Music Opry store downtown, Dickinson's Pharmasave, and then you can also grab them on Hotspot. That's another thing that we just introduced this year is you can grab it right on your phone. You can pay for a singular pass or 10 passes or 20 passes, or grab your monthly pass right on your phone. And you don't have to worry about losing it or anything like that, or having proper change. You can also just pay for a fare right on the bus with $3 of exact change. So we try and keep it as simple for everyone as possible and as accessible as possible.
Well, along with the bus passes is the actual layout of the routes. Where can I see that?
Yeah, so a few years ago, we actually implemented, like, right on Google Maps, you can search where you want to go and where you are and it'll route you to the closest bus shelter, and how to get anywhere you want to go. You can also print off a version of our maps and schedules right from our website, which is www.miramichitransit.ca. And you can find copies of the Nightline route there, a copy of the new Saturday route there, as well as just our regular route is actually located online as well.
Perfect.
Great.
Awesome.
No, I was just going to
Beautiful.
say that I guess from talking to you that you do a 9 to 5 job, Kate, is that right? Because you have 2 little girls and trying to balance everything out, job, small children, and a lifestyle. And especially during COVID, it's been probably a little bit hairy, like the rest of us trying to work it all out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the office 8 to 4 type thing every day. I try and get in
Yeah.
a little bit
Yeah.
earlier. And then our drivers actually operate from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends from 9 until 4. So, and then again in the evenings right now from 5 until 11. So,
As you said, we can't increase our bus service without actually increasing our ridership. So we need to make that a priority. So any last things that you want people to
That's
know
right.
just before we head off to break?
like I say, ditch the car and take transit instead, and just do the simple things to reduce your personal greenhouse emissions.
Awesome. Well, you know what? We want to thank you, Kate, for spending some time with us today. And what a great show we had. So much going on in our province. You know, we forget how wonderful and exciting our province is until we start looking at it from other people's eyes. So huge thank you to Kate for hanging out with us today, and for our 2 ladies, les tripeuses trotteuses. And we want to wish everyone a great week. We can't wait to see you next time. And take care, be kind, and wash your hands.
Thanks for watching.
Scrub.
Thanks for having
Bye,
me.
everybody.